Welcome, Dogs on the Run. No Geo this week. I'm Andy Baffin. Great to be with you. If you're watching on NewsNet 5, we're really happy to have you on board. If you're watching us on the podcast, we tape the show Monday mornings at 7:30 throughout the Brown season. It's a chance for you to get things off your chest. We have a litany of guests and a lot of fun. We're going to talk about the Browns today, obviously. That's what we do in every show. We can probably throw some other stuff in there as well. But the Browns a winner yesterday. They actually won a game yesterday. I'm not quite sure if everyone's on board with that. 24-10 was the final over the San Francisco 49ers. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to watch that game yesterday. We'll bring in Kenny Rhoda in a second. I see that Snowy is standing by, too, as well on Skype 1. But first, let's bring in Eric, the referee. Hi, Eric. How are you?
Hello. Yeah, great win. It's our last win of the season. It was great to finally produce on the running attack. Isaiah Crowell actually looked like he knew what he was doing.
What if it's not the last win of the season? What if it's not?
How much you want to bet they lose to Seattle? How much you want to bet they lose to the Steelers team fighting for the playoffs? So
well, here's what I kept saying, that was the last home game of the season because the last game of the year is going to be entirely orange, black and gold.
Yeah.
You won't see a lot of, but if they keep playing, I think it'll be interesting. If Johnny can continue on this pace and have a little bit of fun, and I don't think everything was all Johnny yesterday, but I thought he looked good. I think Kevin O'Connell, the quarterback coach, deserves a ton of credit because if you go back and look at what he did last year, at the same time, that kid was not ready for the NFL. And now he's reading progressions. He's doing little things that quarterbacks in the NFL do. And yesterday he had success. I think that one of the biggest things that happened yesterday was the ability to go out and get a little bit of a lead and then feel good and sustain it against a horrible team.
I think I know the answer to this question, but have you seen enough from Johnny Manziel to keep him next year, or is it still wait and see?
Oh, I need to see him against good teams. Let's see what he does now. Now that he's got a little knowledge, now that he only makes one bad play during the game, I mean, that interception was crazy. I still thought something nutty was going to happen on the play. I was hopeful. And he gives you hope. And I don't know what more you can ask for in this team with now 3 wins on the season. Let's bring in my co-host today. He is Mr. Kenny Rhoda. Hi, Roadman.
Morning. You like the shirt?
Life
is good today in Cleveland. For the Cleveland Browns, it's a Victory Monday. Only the 3rd time they've had a Victory Monday this season.
It's pretty exciting, isn't it? Just give me your overall thoughts on the game.
I thought they were 2 crappy teams playing yesterday, and the Browns were less crappy than the San Francisco 49ers. I thought Johnny Manziel did a decent job at quarterback, making some plays, not trying to do too much. When he did try to do too much, we saw what happened. It was a disaster, and then he took his what is that, your tablet or whatever, and was just banging it against his head because he knew, it was a stupid play, and he missed the Barnage running up the seam wide open. So from that standpoint, baby steps, and they are baby steps when you talk. He's so tiny when you talk about Johnny Manziel, but he did make some progress. But their wins, guys, this year have been against the 3-10 Titans, the 4-9 Ravens, and the 4-9 49ers. Josh McCown with 1 win, Johnny Manziel with 2. They're 2-2 on the year with Johnny as the starting quarterback. So we're going to, like you said, Andy, we're going to find out more about Johnny Manziel in the next 3 weeks at Seattle, at Kansas City, and at home against Pittsburgh, all 3 battling for playoff spots.
Kenny, can he be a quarterback in the NFL? Can Browns fans have any little slim thought that this guy could be the future? It hit me for a little bit yesterday.
No, none whatsoever. Not at this point. I want to see it against good teams. Can he play in the league maybe as a backup? Yes. Would I want him as my franchise future quarterback? Hell no. There's no chance. The couple of the sacks that he took yesterday, too, he ran into those. But that's what you get when you play Johnny football, and it's backyard football. Remember, when he was in Texas with Texas A&M, he could make those plays, scramble around and throw it up. Why? Because he had Mike Evans to go up and bail him out. I think Mike Evans helped make Johnny Manziel the quarterback he was at Texas A&M because he could trust that Mike Evans would go up and win the jump ball 8 times out of 10 and make him look good on what was a horrible decision, a horrible read, a horrible throw. I don't have the faith in Johnny yet, and I don't think I ever will, that he's going to be a starting quarterback, a franchise quarterback. But what this does is it puts some good film out there of Johnny, maybe for another team that might have some interest for him if you want to trade him in the offseason.
Kenny, could Josh Gordon be that guy for him next year? I'm just throwing names out. And let me ask you this. What would it take for you to be a believer in Johnny Manziel, or have we passed the point of that?
No, we're not past it. Never say never in this league, as we found out. Guys, it takes them longer sometimes to establish themselves. I just don't like the size. I don't think his body can withstand the punishment. And his style of play is not conducive, I think, in Cleveland. Now, granted, it was, 60-some degrees yesterday, but in December, you're not going to get that on a normal basis. So I need to see him win 2 out of these next 3 games, not turn the ball over, and be the leader of this team in the huddle, on the field, and more importantly, off the field. What does he do on a victory Monday and a day off Tuesday? How does Johnny handle himself? Last time, he had some time off. He didn't handle things very well. So how does he handle himself now off the field moving forward, as well as what does he do against legitimate playoff contending teams?
Kenny, I'm sure you'll have calls on your show. I will from on my show today for sure. The Manzelites will be out in full force today, saying, why didn't Mike Pettin start him last week, and was that punishment worth the crime that he committed?
Yes, it was. Well, without question, because you've got to send a message to this guy that there's more to being an NFL quarterback than just showing up on Sundays, running around, trying to make plays. You are looked upon as the leader of this team in the locker room, in the huddle, on the field, and away from the facility. You're the face of the franchise, and you need to act accordingly. And for somebody who's basically been a spoiled brat his entire life, the entitlement that some of these athletes have, he needed to be basically, put in the corner, go take a timeout for a couple of weeks and get the message through to him that this organization, at least, and I give Mike Pettin credit, this organization isn't going to put up with your BS anymore off the field.
All right, George and Snowy are standing by. We're going to go to them in a second.
Can't wait.
First, we're talking about Pettin on Manziel. Here's what he had to say about Manziel's performance after the game.
Let's hear this.
I thought Johnny did some good things. It's just a big mistake throwing it late over the middle. Hopefully that's a lesson learned. But overall, I just think we saw his poise, composure. He was dialed into the plan. He knew where to go with the ball. Stayed in the pocket, until it was dictated that he had to get out. So I'll have to see the film, but I thought that was a solid effort by him, and it's a credit to his preparation. I thought he had a good week of practice. I mean, just talking to Kevin yesterday, he's like, hey, I got a good feeling about him. He's had a good week.
Kenny, look, I can believe in Johnny Manziel as a football player because he's shown the ability to learn. And again, I go back to last season and where he just had no business being on the field. And that there's been a little bit of a progression in his progressions, I guess is probably the right thing to say there. But he has shown the ability to be educated as a quarterback, to play better on the field, to not play as 1, but to play as 11. And I think that is something that gives me a little bit of hope for Johnny Manziel.
Hope in the sense that he can play in the league, or hope in the sense that you think he can be a franchise quarterback?
Hope that I think he can get better. I don't think he hasn't convinced me he's a franchise quarterback. I'm not there. But I do believe that he has taken a leap from where he was. Now, can he get me to the next level? Can he make me believe that, yes, next year, Johnny Manziel is going to start all 16, and this team's going to win 9-10 games? I'm not there. No way.
I'm not there either, and I will say this much, though, in defense of Johnny. They finally had a running game. You saw the effect it had on the offense and on Johnny yesterday. They still don't have a receiving core worth a damn. Brian Hartline has come on as of late. Unfortunately, the collarbone injury looks like he's done for the season, just when he was starting to play well. Now who steps up and replaces Brian Hartline as the wide receiver he can go to? Seems like he and Travis Benjamin have some chemistry, which is a good thing, but the next 3 teams are going to know that, and they're going to try and take Travis Benjamin away. Who steps up? And the other guy who's the MVP of the team this year, it's not even close, is Gary Barnidge, who comes up with a touchdown grab again yesterday as well. So he's got Barnidge, he's got Travis Benjamin. The running game, will it be as good against Seattle, Kansas City, and Pittsburgh? 2 out of those 3 defenses playing great right now. So we'll have to wait and see. So in fairness to Johnny, do you bring him back and add weapons around him? Does Ray Farmer get his head out of his you-know-what and finally realize he needs to go out and draft a big-time wide receiver in the first or second round and put some weapons around whoever the quarterback is going to be? That's going to help, whether it's Josh McCown, whether it's Austin Davis, whether it's Johnny Manziel. It's going to help any of those quarterbacks get better. So give Johnny credit for improving from last year to this year. But when you go back to last year, he couldn't go anywhere but up, I believe, on the field. Off the field, he did go down, but hopefully he's hit rock bottom and starts that slow crawl and a steady climb upwards off the.
All right, 216-431-3820 if you're listening and you're driving around and you're listening to the show on Newsnet 5. Or we always love when you Skype in, just like George in Lakewood. Hi, George. How are you?
I'm doing great. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good. How's snow today?
I think the best picture from the game yesterday was Ray Farmer looking at his watch, counting the days until. Good game, another small step. Johnny Manziel, and we had a running attack that absolutely helped. I was going to ask a question. Do you guys think the three teams we play next, Seattle, Kansas City, and Pittsburgh, is it possible they could press a little bit, maybe leaving a small window for us to unexpectedly come out with some wins that we're not supposed to?
Can they win? My biggest fear.
I'm saying the team might press themselves with leaving the window open. Is it possible that could happen because they're fighting for playoff spot?
This is the NFL. Anything is possible. I mean, remember a couple years ago when the Browns beat the New Orleans Saints and the Patriots back-to-back? I mean, it is possible. Anything's possible. It's the NFL.
The other question that comes into play, and the biggest difference, I think, between yesterday and a week ago was they actually showed some heart yesterday. They played like they wanted to win. I saw momentum for the first time out of this team. Guys weren't just kind of walking around with their heads down. They believed they were going to win that game. Once the defense got 1 or 2 sacks, they knew what they could do. They rolled up into 9 sacks. Hope it can be a scary thing sometimes. And, momentum they had yesterday for the first time that I don't think we've seen in weeks. So, is the ability there? Yes. They're going to be playing better teams, though, that have a lot more at stake. And unless they lay down and die, I think the Browns are in for a rough 3 weeks in a row. But, as I'll say it, and I'll say it again, I feel like they won their last home game of the season because that last game of the season at home isn't going to be a home game. It's going to be a Steelers home game.
I tend to disagree with you on that, though. I think it's Browns-Steelers. I think no matter what, the Browns fans will show up. I think at halftime, if they're getting blown out, it's certainly going to be Steelers. But I think Browns fans will show up for that game.
Guys, it all depends on what happens the next 2 weeks. If the Browns lose the next 2 weeks, that place will be empty or full of black and gold Steeler fans.
100% correct. It will be Pittsburgh North. And Kenny, I think you said that the most poignant thing yesterday, or last Monday, when we were talking about rock bottom. If they would have lost yesterday, that would have truly been rock bottom.
Yeah.
Coaches would have been fired
Against a
today.
team like that,
honestly,
one of the worst, if not the worst, offensive team in the league, if you can't beat them at home. Think about this. They traveled to Chicago last week, flew West Coast to East Coast, back to West Coast. Then they had to travel again from West Coast to East Coast, back to West Coast. And if you couldn't beat a team that had jet lag like that with one of the worst offenses in the league, as well as one of the worst defenses in the league, then you were going to hit rock bottom and not win another game. That was the one game we circled on the schedule that we thought they could win.
George, any other final thoughts from Snowy? I mean, Snowy's got to feel fulfilled today, huh?
Yeah, of course. I just wanted to shout out to Kenny Rhoda for his job he did on the sidelines Friday and Saturday with the Lake Erie Monsters.
Yeah,
and
Kenny,
I actually enjoyed
on
those
Friday.
2 games, along with
Thank
the
you.
Cavs kicking ass.
Different Monsters team this year with the affiliation with the
Absolutely.
Columbus Blue Jackets. It's going to be a lot of fun. Coach Bednar is outstanding. Enjoying it.
All right, guys. Until next week. That's it. I'm really happy for the win, but like you said earlier, it's baby steps for Johnny Manziel.
George, I can't believe nothing upset you from the game yesterday?
Well, actually, no. Johnny Manziel hitting himself on the head for his dumbfounded play yesterday, and he at least, his motivation. That's the thing. The team was motivated and it made me fucking happy to enjoy a game.